Hello, everybody. Cyanesk111 here, and welcome back to more Civilization VII. We have entered a religion-related crisis, entering the home stretch of the Exploration Age, and as you can see here, I've done a pretty terrible job at maintaining my religion of Catholicism within the borders of my empire proper. And also, whether or not that played a factor, I don't have a religion at all in Sevilla, preferably Catholicism, since that is what I founded. Also, we are still getting very close to completing the cultural legacy path where I have to display 12 relics in total, and that actually reminds me about some research I did on town specializations in this game and why I was so confused about them until now. So, basically, towns can be specialized once they reach a population of 7, in which you can choose which of a certain amount of specialties, depending on which age you are playing in, you want your town to have. Unspecialized towns will have 50% increased growth rate. But once you give it a specialty, all accumulated food is distributed among connected cities. If there's no connection to a city, the town can continue to grow independently, still. Specializations may seem like a setback at first, since they will in some cases completely halt a town's growth. But if used correctly, specializations will result in a better net increase for all yields, more so in later ages. Therefore, towns introduce one of the most complex and strategic mechanics in the game, offering almost infinite optimization possibilities. I myself was confused about the specialization part of my towns, since the section for a town specialization says town focus, rather than town specialization. That was what threw me off, and in turn caused my reluctance in setting a specialization for my towns. So, oopsies! Partially my fault for not getting it until now, but mostly the game's fault for mislabeling such useful things for my towns. Ah, you silly little... game! Not labeling things properly and making my commentary go off track for a few seconds. Well, I guess that's about enough of me ranting about the confusion I've been having until now. So let me just give all of my current towns a little specialty. This town focus is exclusive. You will only be able to choose this focus or growing town until the next age. I cannot change focuses until the next age, it looks like. That's something I didn't really know until now, but here we are. I gave Aquileia a specialty at long last. I can have +1 relic slot in its temple. Okay, yeah, I do have one. Don't know why one of my relics got unslotted, but I'm hoping I can get some more relics in my archive soon so I can have them on display. And I'll set Shengel's town specialty to a religious site too. It is partially for the happiness, but also because of the additional relic slot it can have. Why do you keep putting all of my relics in the archive whenever I upgrade my temples, technically. So, moving on from that disaster, we'll upgrade the town of Shengle, giving it a fishing boat. I'm gonna have to command my units to keep exploring the map for anything that is of big interest to me. Okay, so this is Lafayette's territory of the Norman Empire. I still also, at some point, have to find a city-state to befriend and become suzerain of to complete the International Diplomat quest. My expedition base was damaged because of a riot, and I saw the notification for it earlier, so I'll get a woodcutter down here for now. I'll repair both of my improvements because of the damage the riots have caused. I gotta go ahead and support so I can have more happiness in all of my cities to make up for the fact that the happiness is diminishing since none of the cities follow my religion that I founded. How very non-representative of you. It's clearly not the way to represent, son. I'm actually going to do another merchant in case another alert shows me of a trading opportunity with another Civ. I can place a wharf here for some additional food and a little bit of science. Oh, you're crapping me. I can't really do anything with the resources I have. Inputting them in my towns. Also, since the exploration age is getting ready to come to an end once the crisis culminates and beyond, I'll have to, at some point, find the best suitable place I can to settle more cities. And I'm thinking down here would be a good option, or somewhere above there, assuming that there's enough room. Or maybe even up here, providing that there's also enough room up there.
Colonialism is not satisfied merely with holding a people in its grip, but it turns to the past of the oppressed people and destroys it. The master and apprentice love the master in different ways.
That's a culture and a tech completed at the same time. And education is what I'll be going for next for science, and where am I on the civic tree? I guess I'll do bureaucracy next since it has 8 turns. And it won't be completed at the same time as my current tech that I'm researching. I guess I can get another settler down here since my merchant is done. Talakad. Trade route to this little island town right here. I'll have to send my merchants over to the green cities so they can have an opportunity to make trade routes with other civs. It is going to be confusing the first few times you do it, but you'll get used to it the more times you do it. The exploration age has progressed 77%. Goodness gracious, I am in need of relics so I can fully complete my cultural path. He's denouncing my military presence again. I could support it. I have a boatload of influence at my disposal, so it'll result in war weariness for the aggressor. I'm gonna go ahead and get a wharf down here in Ostia, which is gonna be done in 3 turns. Pretty fast builders they are. We have discovered Kamakura of Japan. So this may be a pretty good opportunity to I'm not really sure how I can become city-state suzerains yet, but I'm hoping I can figure it out in a game that I play on my own. No telling who I'll be playing as. Or why. Well, more urban areas means more urban areas, so... Okay, we got another settler going. And, ooh, think it would be a good idea to take him here. To a foreign hemisphere. And another city-state. Osos N. And Jose Rizal is the Caesarian. Still very much unsure about how I can become Caesarian of city-states once again. Maybe I should have done some more research on that. For all else. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. We got a hurricane. Right within our Civ. My improvements are getting battered. We got a tent camp, which I'll send my knight over to in the next turn. A master surgeon has designed more comfortable iron prosthetics for those who lost a limb in battle. Despite their pain, these patients are proud to return to work. I'm gonna say we examined the prosthetics for 150 science. And I saw that it was good. Can't really build a sawmill without replacing any rural improvements. So I might as well do a research initiative in Ostia to further my scientific research. Gonna cost quite a bit of gold to repair everything in Aquileia after that hurricane. But it recovered nicely. Another eruption from Thera in the year 1360 CE. On top of that, diplomatic action is a cultural exchange. Sure. Reaching the northernmost part of the entire world. Can't get any more northern than these ice caps up there.
The best investment for 1 year is to grow grains. The best investment for 10 years is to grow trees. The best investment for a lifetime is to educate people.
Wise words for unlocking the education tech. Education to enlightenment. Your specialist cap has increased, allowing you to place more specialists on urban tiles. Place specialists on high adjacency tiles to achieve the enlightenment legacy path. Okay, so I do have one specialist placed down already somewhere in my empire. Darkening skies. Ooh, the crisis is intensifying now. Where customs and authority once fastened settlements together, now religious tensions tear them apart as private beliefs become public politics. The reins of power snap, and no force, sacred or secular, can halt the discord that runs rampant. The world rages, and as angry hands reach for weapons, people seek support from abroad, finding community in shared beliefs rather than shared customs. So that means I'll have another crisis policy slot to fill later in the turn. But on the plus side, we now have a university to build. 2 of them, actually. The Majapahit Empire is ahead of us by several civics, and I'm a little... shall I say wary about this. Jizya is +4 gold in settlements not following your religion, -4 happiness in distant land settlements. I can enact jizya because it would give me gold, but I'm not too happy about the distant land settlements receiving a happiness penalty. Once again. This could be a problem for Sevilla, no doubt. I'm really hoping nothing overly bad happens for the rest of the crisis. But my merchant has arrived in Talakad. And so... Ah, okay. We've unlocked the opportunity to play as Mughal in the modern age, by having at least 4 trade routes with unique civilizations. That sounds pretty interesting, playing as a civilization that doesn't go by the historical, geographic, or strategic standards. But I think I'm gonna go for one of the historical routes in this game. Especially in the modern age, since Benjamin Franklin was an American statesman during his time. A swordsman from the Istanbul village. And it's friendly.
A bureaucracy always tends to become a pedantocracy.
We played 300 turns and forgot how many XP that earned me, but regardless, I'll go for Armada next. Armada will give fleet commanders the Flotilla promotion. Great and most fortunate navy is plus 50% production towards naval units and minus 1 gold maintenance for naval units. I don't have that many naval units in my fleet, so not really a big deal. I'll have to do trade winds to renew my happiness that I lost from enacting those 2 crisis policies. Let's see, upgraded into a knight before I put you to sleep until I need you for something I absolutely need you for. Let's place a specialist right here. There's Istanbul. And I can spend some influence right off the bat to befriend the Independent. And it'll become a city-state with me as its Caesarean once completed. Okay. And I can even add some support for 200 influence. And I can do it as many times as I want, but the influence cost will increase by 20 each time. Guess I'd better stop until before I get carried away. I had to find the right words for a little bit. So it does kind of look like that my international diplomat quest is going to be completed in this age after all. The green tile looks tempting, but this would be my best bet in this city since it's going to provide 8 science. Like so. Specialist right here. 3 aligned tiles in all. Another research initiative going on in Roma. And I'm actually ahead of in science compared to culture, so cultural festival in Puteoli it is. I gotta get familiar with Istanbul and its customs, so I can maintain a healthy relationship with them. I'm not sure what kind of Civ narrative that would give me for completing the quest, but I can bet it's something good. Another improvement or another diplomat? Or specialist. Oh, man. Another specialist it is. I wanna get some more medieval walls going in Puteoli for another tile. Just like I did in Roma. But that may or may not be necessary depending on what relations with all of the civs I've met is going to look like in the long run. Uh-oh. Oh? The settlement of Puteoli is on the brink of revolt. If they remain unhappy for 9 turns, they may revolt. That is no good. There's gotta be something I can do to get their happiness up once again. I could build the Borobudur. It is 4 happiness, but it'll take 9 turns to complete. And alas, that is the exact number of turns the game is predicting before they will revolt. So, emissaries from Istanbul have arrived and pronounced that Spanish Empire deserves all glory and respect. To honor the friendship between the two peoples, they present a generous gift. Okay. I may wanna... It is an army commander, but is it the kind of commander that would bring happiness once again to Puteoli? I'm kinda doubtful, but in time, the answer will be revealed. Oh, we got tornadoes now, huh? It's just outside Puteoli, the city that could potentially rebel. Uh-huh. Okay, so army commanders do contribute to happiness when placed in the city centers of my settlements. That solves that.
I sent the Armada against men, not God's winds and waves.
We completed our Armada. Now I'm starting to become a little concerned about Sevilla rebelling too. I definitely don't want that happening. It's getting costly repairing all of these improvements. I hope this crisis is gonna end at an opportune time. Though there is the issue of the crisis culminating, which it is almost halfway to doing from intensifying. Ah, good lord.
Summit, there is the dried and frozen carcass of a leopard. No one has explained what the leopard was seeking at that altitude.
We found the natural wonder, Mount Kilimanjaro, which, as a certain quote from 6 says, is not Wi-Fi enabled. So, no hopes of getting a signal here, unfortunately. And I'll see what happens in the next turn, and
From a new land of gold, a sun of gold, a whole fathom wide, and a moon of silver.
we researched metallurgy. And, uh-oh. This could be very bad for my civilization. But at least I became the suzerain of Istanbul. And, I don't know if this is going to... it's not looking like it qualifies as a suzerain bonus for the city-state being in a distant land. There's gotta be some place I can check to see what requirements I can have for my quests. Though I do know that there's this trophy where I can check to see how far I am in securing a legacy that I can use to my advantage in the next era. But, yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end off this part right here. I guess my biggest concern should be to figure out how I can get Puteoli and Ostia's happiness up. Maybe part of it is because of the fact that I turned them into cities without having a mind to do it. But cities do get downgraded back into towns whenever an era moves forward. So, I guess during the modern age, I'll have to choose how I place my town specialties down and choose very wisely on how to use cities to my advantage and how to maintain happiness there. But until then, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!